Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Suhei with Suhei Plans, and in today's video I am sharing with you an update on my 2025 planners and journals, where I'm feeling really good and where I'm getting some cold feet. Before we jump in, please don't forget to hit that like or subscribe button if you enjoyed today's video. I love sharing planning and journaling content here on Instagram, YouTube, and for right now, TikTok. All right, so let's jump in. So I'm gonna, I guess, start with the order that you see here in front of you. So let's start with the personal rings. Personal rings I've been using since about May of 2024, and it has gone so well. I'm using rings for personal planning. I am loving everything about it. I love having all of my life in one book and the customizable inserts, having things in the order I need, the sections that I need, the inserts that I need are just working so beautifully. I'm absolutely loving rings. These are new inserts for this year. Let me zoom in a bit. These are week on 2-page inserts from Rosie Papeterie, and I'm absolutely loving them. This is my first time using them since I jumped into rings, and I'm just thinking it's super functional, and it's just like really making sense and clicking with my brain. So that's really exciting. I think the one probably frustrating thing, and funny enough that this has nothing to do with the ring planner itself, but probably the one frustrating thing about rings has been that I am constantly wanting to buy more covers. I just know that this is the right fit for me and my planning needs, and I am just constantly itching for new covers. This is a cover from the Line Shop, and I love it so much. This is in the color Latte that I picked it up in black. That's how much I loved it. And I kind of want to just build my collection. But I'm probably, my desire is moving faster than my ability to save up for them. So that's not really the planner's fault. That's just how awesome my experience has been. So far, so good in rings. All right. Next up, let's share with you how things are going in the Take a Note planner that I am using as a daily journal. This is really journal piece in this one. I am finding the vertical, let me jump to that page. I am finding the vertical spaces for each day to be the perfect amount of space for a daily entry. It's not too much, it's not too little. I find that I can really get all the main points from the day and a little bit more onto this page. When I sit down at my desk at night, I don't feel intimidated to journal because I feel like I can fill this page up in a couple of minutes. And that's such a good feeling, right? I think that, you don't want to dread sitting down to journal or to plan. And I have really felt like I can be super consistent, even more consistent than I was in 2024, because of just how accessible and how feasible this amount of space is for a daily entry. I've also taken up a little bit of space with stickers. These are from The Giving Girl. They're so beautiful. But I also feel like having the stickers, it takes away a little space from the columns, but I still feel like I have plenty of space for writing each day. And that's just a great feeling. I would definitely sit down with my Hobonichi and feel a little bit of dread because I love how a completed page looks, but I didn't always have the energy to get through an entire A5 page. So I have really felt accomplished and motivated And I am not scared about sitting down to journal every evening. And that is an absolutely wonderful feeling. And I've just stickered things up through about early February. With, again, all of these are from The Giving Girl. Really beautiful stickers that I've been enjoying. And so this is going so, so well. If I had to point out a pain point, it would be that I haven't quite figured out how I want to use the monthly spreads, if at all. It's like January's, like there's barely anything there. I thought I wanted to do like just what was happening in a particular day, but it just feels repetitive. I did a little bit in December, but I've kind of run out of ideas on how to use the monthly pages, and I'm not going to force it if I don't figure something out. I am using the annual trackers as a duplication of my daily habit tracking. I am tracking this in my personal rings as well, but I like the idea of also tracking it in my journal. So that is going swimmingly. All right, and this is in this beautiful cover. After kind of a lot of back and forth and just like checking in with the planner community, I was encouraged to just take off the plastic cover, and I did. And I am living my best journal life. So thank you, friends. Thank you for encouraging me and giving me the strength. All right. Next up is this cutie. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry for the glare. Next up is this cutie. This is the 2025 Daily Notebook by Crafective Paper. I've got it in a clear cover. Have my vision board in here. And now things are going really well in here. I am using these pages for trackers. I'm doing some doing some tracking in the monthly spread. And I find myself using the daily pages and the weekly overview. I am logging steps, how I was feeling that day, if I got a workout in, water. This is supposed to be a health journal for me. So anything related to my health, my eating habits, if I was too busy that day to journal, just anything that's going on, health and fitness related, I'm logging in here. This is an A6 size, so the page is so manageable. It's no effort at all to just jot down a few things each day related to my health. Some days I'm writing and reflecting more than others, but I do feel like this is getting really well used, which is a good thing. I think that picking an A6 size for something that was extra was a good call, and I'm glad I did that. The one pain point, or where I'm kind of getting some cold feet about this one, is that I don't have enough spreads for tracking. I'm using this like quarterly annual tracking spreadsheet to track my steps and my water. And I also want to track if I'm getting to bed in my desired time frame, which is 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. I have a stationary reward if I have a good month. But I wish I had more tracking pages in this book. There is some blank grid in the back, but I'm not really, I don't know. I don't like a tracker in the back of the book. It doesn't work well with my brain. The other book that I was considering was the Just Plans A6 by Just Scribble, because it has a lot of trackers built in. So I have been giving that planner the eye. But I am finding alternative solutions. This is an Infinite Lotus monthly tracking sticker. So that's a good alternative solution, but I do wish I had more trackers in this one page. Yes, I know that I could just digitally track my steps, but for me, there's something powerful about seeing all the number of steps laid out in one kind of spread like this. So that's kind of one thing that I am not worried about per se, but I kind of am, maybe not feeling as much peace because of this one element. Just not enough trackers for kind of the purpose that I wanted to use this book for. But again, not necessarily a deal breaker, but something I'm thinking about. All right. So next up, I've got, oh, and I'm going to have to zoom out for this one, ladies and gents. Okay. So this is a B5 Stalogy notebook. I apologize for the glare, but I have a clear cover on here and some stickers, and I'm using this planner for social media. This is also going really, really well. I love, like, it just suits my needs and it works for my brain. I made some trackers up front for followers, an idea bank at the front, and then I just DIY'd monthly and weekly layouts in here. I've added stickers from the Giving Girl, and because social media is so much of a creative endeavor, that, you know, I think a big book like this with a big page is just great for anything that requires ideation. And so I feel like I'm gravitating towards this. I can see everything laid out really clearly, and it just seems to be like really clicking and working for me. I would argue that there's probably a lot more like white space, but for some reason that just doesn't bother me at all in Stalogy. I'd rather have that blank space, but feel like I can do a massive brainstorm and still fit it in that particular week if I needed to. So this is working super, super well. This is February, and I think I've dated it through about March. Or I need to do March. No, I got March. I just haven't decorated. So I'm going to do keep going and keep filling in weeks and months in this because it's working really, really beautifully for me. I can like I'm color coordinating using the Moxie Life markers. Let's see if I can zoom in just a bit. I'm color coordinating when I have a YouTube video up, if I have a payment coming in, if I reached a milestone, and I can just really see that super clearly on the spread. So that's something I'm really, really enjoying. No cold feet here. I'm not interested in buying anything else. This is just working really well, and I can see myself definitely staying in the year in this planner. I know this is a little hard to see, so I started kind of using some stickers, but essentially this is a weekly layout and then an open blank page on the right. And then my weeks and blank pages are consecutive, and then I jump into a monthly spread. And so that has been really great. I've experimented with this notebook for some other things in the middle of it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get all 12 months in the year in here, considering that I've already used some pages in the middle. But we'll see. Worst case scenario, I'll have to get a new notebook, you know, in a couple months sooner than the year is up. But I think that's fine. It's a DIY. And that is my B5 for social media. So far, so good. I think I'm experiencing more positives than negatives with my system that I've picked out. The last thing I will talk about is that now that like the dust has settled, I've gotten started in a few things, I realize that something is missing. At the beginning of the year, I was working on my goals, and I realized that I'm about to hit my 4-year anniversary in my current role at work. And that's so close to 5 years in my job. And I think that it's time to start thinking intentionally about what's next. I want to think about a 5-year plan for my career. This was a brand new job. I moved to Arizona for this job, and I've been kind of figuring out what the job is, what it looks like from year to year, what its cycles are. And now that I feel like I know the job, I know the employer, I want to start thinking about my next move. And so I started doing some brainstorming. This is an A5 freely noted by Planner Monkey Co. notebook that I just use as a notebook, self-explanatory. And because of that goal, the like career reflection goal. Oh, maybe not. Let me turn it over. because of that career reflection goal, I decided that I need a dedicated journal for this career reflection that I'm doing. And I started doing a brainstorm, a mind map of what kinds of things I want to include in my career journal. This will probably be a notebook and not like a formal planner. And I've already picked up some stationery items to put this together. And when it comes in, I'm going to be really excited to share with you how I'm going to set that up and what that's going to look like. I think now there's been enough time in the new year to kind of see where there might be some gaps in my system. And I just think this is it. Yes, I could use like this notebook really to start my career journal. I didn't need to buy anything new. But I am thinking about this career journal as being something that I'm going to use for the next 20 years. Whoa, hold on to your butts. That sounds crazy. What are you talking about, Suhei? Just think about it, right? I'm turning 40 this year. I'm estimating my retirement to be at around 60 or year 65. So I've got 20 more years of working before I kind of put down the briefcase. I don't even use a briefcase, but you get the metaphor. So I'm thinking, I could use a career journal for the next 20 years of my life because that's how long I intend to continue to be working. Right. So that kind of inspired the idea of thinking about a book that I can use super, super long term. Right. Because there are a lot of things that are coming and going and changing. But I am a working girly. I will always be a working girly. I don't play the lottery, so here we are. I will be a working girly, right? So I'm really excited to add this to my system and my setup as soon as those items come in. And so that's where I am with 2025. There are a couple pain points. There are a couple things that I maybe wish I could change. But overall, I am feeling really good about where I am in the year. How is your year going? Are you already feeling like you need to move on from something, add something, take something away? It is early, folks, so give it a little bit more time. I'm not trying to make too many more big moves just yet. Let's let the systems all play out for a little longer. But definitely by the end of the first quarter of the year, I always think that that's a good time to really make a move if you kind of have that gut feeling that something's just not quite right. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. I will see everyone in the next one.